It's December 3rd. Rundown Big Cat is on his way to the MAC championship. So we have Iowa Trent filling in. Let's start with UKFC. What's the countdown? Are you a dad yet?
Not a dad yet. Might be an uncle very soon, but
What does
nothing
that
on
mean?
my front yet.
That was like a diversionary tactic.
No, I'm just saying, like, literally could be any minute that I'm an uncle right now, and I got a few more days before I'm a dad.
So Clancy number 2?
Yes.
You're throwing so much shit against the wall right now. So are you taking time? Are you taking time now on his dime too?
What are you talking about?
I mean, are you taking time like when his wife has a kid? Are you going to take time off for that too, and then double down with your own kid?
What? No, you fucking maniac! What?
He didn't say that. He's just
No,
said
I just said that I'm going to be an uncle.
but
Soon. I didn't say anything about taking time off.
You were mysteriously absent yesterday, and then I find out that Clancy number 2 is in on these shenanigans, which I had no idea.
No, I was not mysteriously absent. I had to go to the hospital myself for my own
you.
fucking baby appointments.
For you. Not for
Yes,
Clancy.
for me. We're both,
Okay.
dude. We're both about to have kids, so we both have to
Okay.
do these things.
That's as long as you're not double dipping, I'm fine.
You're crazy, man.
I'm crazy.
You're paranoid, dude. You're
Yeah.
fucking nuts.
You're more worried about this kid than Kevin is.
Seriously.
I'm worried about my business, which you should be worried about, Trent. All right, let's start with Coach K got bumped. I don't know why I thought this was really funny. So it was Indiana Duke. There's a little, I'll call it a casual bump with the Indiana guy walking off the court. Coach K, his whole staff stop and do a turnaround and stare this guy down. Coach K has a comment after, like he grew up in Compton or something. Like where I'm from, if you hit somebody, you hit back. It was it was an interesting turn of events. Big Cat, I'm all fucked up. KFC, what do you got?
The whole idea of like when somebody does something to me, you do something back, but I didn't do anything. You just can't have that be your quote. I like the idea of like this kind of new bad boy Krzyzewski, like drafting, like going with the one and dones and trying to kind of be like the Calipari of it all, but he hasn't really gone full heel yet. So he's like stuck in this weird in between right now. I kind of like his coaching staff like having his back, but it's like an act, like half and half. You got to go full. You got to go all in. If someone's gonna bump you and you're gonna talk shit about it, you actually have to do something back.
Trent?
Yeah, his comment was what confused me. He said, yeah, if you come at me, you're going to get hit, but I didn't do anything. It's basically like he's calling himself a pussy.
Yeah.
And then he barely even, like I watched the video a couple of times. You have to slow it down to even see him get nicked. And then his whole staff is like, they're like a rap entourage ready to go at the guy. I thought it was pretty ridiculous for him to even react that way.
I had to really like rewatch the video like 10 times to see it. I didn't even realize what was going on.
I still don't think I've seen it.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was funny, because either of them could have like moved out of the way. I will say you cannot go, and I know what you're saying, you got Okafor who's going to murder somebody probably, and the one and dones and all that. You can't be a thug program or officially go thug when Grant Hill's sitting in the second row in a white Duke hat, which he was last night. That sucks all the thug out of everything you're doing. I wrote this blog. I'm curious on your guys' take. So, and I firmly believe this. I get a feeling you guys are both smart guys. You'll agree with me. A pet peeve of mine has always been Phil Jackson. I hate Phil Jackson. I hate how Phil Jackson acted like he's better than Red Auerbach. He has his 10 rings. When he wore them, he put that 10 hat on, drove me nuts at the time. The Warriors being 12-0 with Luke Walton as the coach. Can we end this one? Coaching does not matter in the NBA unless you just let the inmates run the asylum and have no control. But talent wins 99.9% of the time. Not only really in basketball, but I think baseball. I'm going to just say hockey because I know nothing about it, but it seems like it should. The only sport is football, unless you're like the GM, like Red, who got all the guys. But Phil Jackson, here's the question. If I was the coach of all Phil Jackson's teams, would they have won any less? And I think that's an unequivocal no. You're laughing, KFC.
You answered your own question, basically, when saying unless you let the inmates run the asylum. I mean, I'm not going to go full against you here because I definitely understand what you're saying. Talent does prevail. But part of that in the NBA is keeping egos in check. He dealt with the biggest egos, maybe in sports history, with guys like Jordan and Kobe. You can't completely discount him. You can't completely discount coaching either. You think like Popovich doesn't matter with the Spurs? You think like when the Pistons upset if you want to talk about talent, when the Pistons beat the Lakers.
No, KFC, no chance. The Lakers are old, the Pistons are young. The Pistons are a great team.
You're still talking about major talented basketball players.
The Pistons were more talented.
A team that gelled together and played better team basketball was able to beat them. And you don't think that had anything to do with coaching?
I used to be on the flip side of this. I used to say that, they have to manage these egos. But then this Luke Walton thing completely flipped it for me. He just lets Steph Curry do his thing. When I used to say, he had to manage egos, and like you just said, Kevin, I don't totally know what that means. Like, you basically... you just throw the talent on the floor and it does what it has to do.
You're like Jordan. I mean, Jordan's going to win every year he won.
I understand that. I think Kobe and Shaq is the better example. Where
they did. But when those two were together, they were so much better. You had the first and second best player in the league. It's almost impossible not to win. That's why
I'm not saying if you take Phil Jackson away, they don't win. But I think completely discounting Phil Jackson is a little naive.
That's also why these college coaches who come up never work, and it's like you bring the guy who was running the Suns to the Knicks. That doesn't make a lick of a difference. It doesn't matter. Talent wins. That's except football, where it's the most important. Everything else, Do
you really think that if you were the coach of those Lakers teams, though, they would have won the exact same amount of games?
I don't know about games. They would have won the same amount of titles.
Because that's fucking stupid. Everybody up in Boston is all about Brad Stevens. They're all on his dick. You think that doesn't matter at all?
No, he's a good coach. But I think coaching matters probably more for like a 20 to 40 win team than it does for like a chance. Like, look at LeBron. LeBron is his own coach.
Mike Brown was his coach, and he did all right.
I think that LeBron and his teams probably would be better off with a real coach. I think if you put Popovich with LeBron, they would be better. I think he'd have more rings.
No, I disagree. I totally disagree. I think when you have that talent,
I think if you took Popovich and put him on the Cavs, or I guess it was the Heat, they beat the Spurs. If you take it away from the Spurs and put that X factor to the Heat, I think they win that title.
How many wins do you think Popovich is worth to a team like that?
It's hard to put a number on these things, but I'm saying there's a reason why that team has lasted as long as they have, and obviously it's guys like Tim Duncan, but it's also when you have, they plug in guys. He's like the Belichick of basketball. You plug in guys from Europe here and there, and it all seems to click and work. Now, yes, that's of course a talent thing, but I think it's naive again to just be like he has nothing to do with this.
No, Again, I think it's lesser. I would give more credit to probably, and it could be him, I don't know enough. The guys bring in these people you're saying to like plug the holes or whatever.
I do agree with that the GM matters more, and Popovich does kind of run the whole show there, so that's kind of a different argument. But
Phil Jackson as an executive in New York, he's terrible.
I was going to say, so the main thing here, he's looking pretty good with my man Porzingis right now. Looking like a genius right now.
It looked like a shitty move when it happened, though.
That's fine.
I was the worst. I was killing him for it, and now it's not only Porzingis, it's Galloway, it's Grant, there's like a lot, Lance Thomas. There's a lot of pieces that all of a sudden turned around pretty quick. Obviously, that's a long way to go for Phil Jackson to prove himself as an executive, but we'll see.
He's gonna die. He's gonna die before these pieces become
could be very
anything serviceable.
That's fine. I can live with that. That's like Pat Riley. I mean, theoretically, I give him more credit for putting the pieces together in Miami and convincing all those guys to come there than I do when he was like the coach of the Lakers, because he wasn't putting those players on the floor.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Strong dick guy. Amazing clip. And this is if Vince McMahon has to watch this clip and for the first time in his life be like, I got beat. Because I've never seen this move, and I've watched a lot of wrestling, but it's like a test of strength. I don't even know where this was, Japan or something. The guy grabbed him by the dick, and then the dick overpowers him. And it's like one of those tests of strength, except instead of wrestling the arms when they clasp at center ring, it's hand versus dick, and the dick wins. Unbelievable wrestling. I would watch wrestling if they have this type of stuff. It's all too cliche now. The dick test of strengths you just don't see nowadays. Trent.
I'm going to get shit for this, but I'm not a wrestling guy. I hate
You look
wrestling.
like a wrestling guy.
Oh, really? Yeah. I don't know. Is that a compliment or not?
No.
Probably not.
It was a hilarious clip, like a dude grabbing a guy's dick and getting completely overpowered by the guy's dick. is funny, but this is why I don't watch wrestling. It's so fucking stupid.
My head just exploded. I was gonna say the complete opposite. That people who are like anti-wrestling can watch this clip and be like, this is so lame. It was one of the funniest things I've ever watched.
No, it is. It's funny, but it's not like I'm not like, oh, I'm gonna watch this now.
When they're like, dude, this is so fake. Like, oh, really? Like, no, I didn't think he overpowered him with his dick, man. It's fucking.
It's not that guy. I'm not being like, oh, you guys don't think it's fake. Like, I know it's fake. Everybody knows it's fake. But
it actually seemed like you were one of those guys who were on the fence, like you don't like it because you swing back and forth whether it's real or fake.
No, I know it's fake.
Do you?
I know it's 1,000% fake.
You got to tip your cap to the dudes doing it. Like, I mean, imagine like we're doing like a rundown and I'm like, all right, and then Dave, I'll just fucking grab your dick for like 60 seconds and you'll overpower me. Like, those guys are true showmen.
They try that one day. Commercial
I'm out on that. I'm out.
Commercial break. Nate would do that. That would be a funny clip.
Oh, he'd love it. He would love that.
Nate'll do anything for the.
Wait. We need to really have like Nate grab Big Cat's dick. And Big Cat overpowers him. I mean, and they're both in tights and shit. That would be the funniest thing.
So you're saying Nate's got the power dick, right?
No. Yeah. Even better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Will Big Cat grab Nate's dick?
No, but we can certainly ask him to. Commercial. I'll do anything. Commercial break. Weak clap. All right. This guy. So, what country was this, KFC?
India.
Bricks fell on his head and he died.
He stepped out of his house, monkeys dropped bricks on his head, and he died.
You have it where on the worst way to die list? By the way, Renee just saw a pack of monkeys in Costa Rica.
I think I had a starting 5. There was the guy who got boiled to death in 6,000 pounds of tuna. There was the dude who, the cow fell through the roof and crushed him while he slept. The guy who chopped off his own head with the helicopter. And there's a couple others. I don't think it's... I'd say like top 4.
Depends too if you... I feel like with this, there has to be a recognition a little bit. Like, oh my God, a monkey just dropped bricks on my head and now I'm going to die. If it's instant,
right,
it may not be as bad.
That's what I said. That guy, the guy with the cow is just horrible luck. That's why it's a terrible way to go. It's not painful. But the problem here, there had been 3 monkey murders in the same town. So, yeah, all right, you step outside and a monkey drops a brick on your head. That's pretty shitty luck. Unless you live in the town where monkeys keep murdering people.
So what do? Go out with an umbrella?
Yeah, I don't know. You gotta, yes. Walk outside with an umbrella. You gotta have your head on a fucking swivel if monkeys are murdering people on the regular.
This sounds very fake, by the way. A monkey can lift a brick heavy enough to murder you. What do you got, Trent?
Wait.
Hang on. I will say anything with India, you got to take a grain of salt that it might be fake. Not because monkeys are not strong enough to lift bricks, bro.
It's going to be a heavy brick to kill you.
I mean...
I would say what I got out of this story is that it's just great living in America. I mean, there's a lot of things I have to worry about getting hit by a car. A lot of shit's been going on the last couple of days. That would suck. But I don't have to worry about walking out of my house or my apartment with a fucking brick umbrella worried about getting hit in the head with an umbrella or with a brick and dying.
True.
I think.
God bless America.
There's 2 points that I think. First of all, I think you forgot, sticking with India. I think they have a lot of times that tigers jump out of roofs and eat you. That's a horrible way to go because it's like you're just walking around. A tiger, basically like Field of Dreams, comes out of nowhere. And you see the tiger and you probably know you're about to get eaten. So that's terrifying. But the number one thing, Trent, it happened in Iowa. The number one death of all time. A family died, suffocated to death in manure fumes. Manure pit got backed up. So that's just shit. Manure equals shit. The family went down. The first 2 went in. And they died. They got overwhelmed by the fumes. The rest of the family, like, oh, where's Billy, Bob, and Joe? They went into the pit after them and also died. That is the number one way. An entire family in Iowa wiped off the face of the map, suffocating on poop.
You think that's worse than getting hit in the head with a brick by a fucking monkey?
Suffocating to death on poop?
Yeah, that would suck.
Is that worse than being boiled alive in tuna fish?
Boiled stinks. I don't believe they die. I believe that's how wasn't that how like the penguin was created or something?
The Joker, he fell into the pit of acid. And then,
so I just keep thinking this person's like now a tuna villain.
Tuna.
Last subject. Big weekend for you, Trent. It's bigger. It's almost bigger than anything else anybody can equate with because you have nothing. So
right,
this is it. And you'll probably won't be back for 100 years. You'll be dead next time they're in this situation.
No, yeah, that's what me and my friends have been talking about. This is one of the reasons I wanted to go to Indy too, because this is never ever happening again. 12-0. I mean, we were 9-0 in 2009. That was great, but an undefeated season is never ever happening again. You're absolutely right.
You can continue.
Oh, well, it's the best season ever. I don't know. We're going to Indy. We're going to play Michigan State.
Okay, we know that. What are your thoughts? Do you think you're going to win?
This is the thing. Like, I don't like when you talk about the Patriots, except now that they're injured and you're doing this now, you're saying that you just want to get healthy for the playoffs, which is a weird change of tone. I can't do the like kill everybody tour. We're undefeated because that's just not how it works.
I'm not asking you. Do you think? What do you think is going to happen in this football game?
What do I think? I think we're going to win. I'm confident enough to think that we can win, but I'm not going to guarantee anything. I can't do that. I can't do it.
If you lose, will you like cut yourself?
I don't know if I'll go that far, but it'll be devastating because, like you said, this is it. This is it for me. We don't have pro teams. Basketball team is okay, but they're not going to do shit. They'll probably get bounced in if they even make the tournament. This is it for me. So if they lose, I don't know. I honestly don't. Since I've never been in a situation like this, I'm not sure what the devastation is going to be.
Coming from me, who I kind of feel the same way about the Mets, even though that pitching is very good. Like, I really don't have any hopes that they're getting back anytime soon.
Yeah, but you got other teams still.
I have other teams. They all stink, though.
No, I know. But you have a better chance of being in a win situation.
From the Mets point of view, which is, the Mets are like my number one, so I'm just trying to equate it. After, Trent, if you do lose, you just, like, go back to normal. You're just like, well, back to being fucking miserable.
That's what's good. That's what sucks, because they definitely caught lightning in a bottle. Like, everybody... The thing about even the people like us, like me, that follow the team in preseason, we're like, they're going to go 8-4, go to some shitty bowl game, and then it's going to be fine, which we're almost more comfortable with. But now that you're 12-0, you got to go in front of everybody, big spotlight, 12-0.
You'll be devastated for a short amount of time, but then you'll just revert back to the first 25 years of your life where you were just like, whatever.
And the thing is, Trent, if you guys do win, I don't think you are, and I don't think it's because I was overrated. I think Michigan State's. I picked them to win the whole thing, so they'll have to earn it if they beat this team. But if you do, you're just warming up. Now you have like a month to sit there and wait.
For the playoff games are what, like December 31st, end of the month.
New Year's Eve.
I mean, I want them to win. That is the main goal. But it is. I'll be nervous, even more nervous leading up because it's an even bigger stage going.
That would be a hell of a video. New Year's Eve, just going through with a camera in Iowa. I was playing on New Year's. Like, I don't even know what you guys do on New Year's Eve to begin with. But when I was actually playing on New Year's Eve, that must be a weird, like, situation.
We could do that. If we make it, I'll take a camera and we'll just go to Iowa City and the bar scene will be wild.
Interesting. All right, so that's the rundown. We got anything?
This amateur bullshit board.
No, because sales guy is on the road.
What? Yeah, what is that? That's like almost like a Bob Barker mic.
Yeah, I actually like it more than the other. I like this more than the other.
Yeah, I would roll with that forever.
Yeah, if it works, I will.
Ridiculous.
Do we have anything, or are we done?
Trent, I saw you giving Hank some shit about that Patriots Ben Simmons thing.
That was honestly the dumbest thing that anybody's said here. The only thing that was dumber was sales guy. That's actually the question. Did you see what Hank said, KFC?
I did.
Would we trade a Super Bowl for Ben Simmons? What do you
Hank's, the Celtics are Hank's number one.
Right.
He's seen a bunch of Super Bowls already. I think it's extreme just to be like, to get one player. Ben Simmons looks like the fucking real deal, but that seems like a bit extreme. But you got to like flip it around. Like, would you give up some Red Sox or Celtic shit for a Patriots Super Bowl? The Patriots are everything you want.
No. But that wasn't a question. I would never give up a championship in any sport to get a player we don't have. No, never.
Oh, I was going to say it's more because this year specifically for the Patriots, if they win the Super Bowl, that's a huge thing, obviously.
Obviously, but it's still, if you any Boston team for like a draft to draft a guy? No fucking way. I will say a couple other things. The Dixie guys are actually starting to become one of my more interesting like pet projects because they're done Saturday and they haven't communicated like what happens next. I don't know whether is like Hank going to be here Monday. He may. I've asked Caleb a couple times, like, what are you doing? He hasn't given me an answer. We may have like a Thelma and Louise situation on our hands with the RV. Like, I don't even know that they're bringing it back or plan to bring it back.
The deal breaker will the paychecks keep coming?
Well, I was gonna say, don't you have control over the credit card? So just
yeah, but I don't have. Yes, but they still have like a 6-figure RV that they could live in.
Well, importantly. If you think that RV is still worth 6 figures, you got another thing coming, bro.
And the other thing, sales guy, this is actually way dumber than what Hank said. He said he'd rather go to the Super Bowl and lose to the Giants for the third time than losing the AFC championship, than losing the AFC championship. So he'd rather go to the Super Bowl and lose to the Giants again. And I'm obviously like, I almost punched him in the nose, but it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Well, if we're not going to win the Super Bowl, I do not want to be there. He's like, yeah, but we'll be in 7 Super Bowls. Yeah, but 3 of them we've lost to the Giants. Yeah. How anybody with a brain could say that is, we have such stupid.
Giants.
We have such stupid people here. It's unbelievable.
After that, the narrative absolutely becomes you guys lost 3 times to the Giants.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Eli has 3 and we have 4. What?
Yeah, I mean, you're just like, well,
it's not even
kind of a dynasty, but not really at all.
Yeah, I'm not trying to put this as like a debate. I'm just trying to show how stupid the people who work here are. It's unbelievable, and it's a tribute to me.
I didn't need any Boston sports hypotheticals to know that.
That we have stupid people.
It's been very, very well established that we have dumb people in this company.
Now I'm really interested to see what's going to happen on Monday with Hank and Caleb. That's really...
And don't forget, there's other people on that RV. And like Ben's his best friend. Ben doesn't have a job if this. So I don't know what they're doing. Let me just put it that way. I know this: if North Carolina somehow sneaks in, they're gonna pitch. Let's just follow North Carolina.
Was that Vine I saw like the entire North Carolina team on the bus?
I think so.
I mean, they're basically like the team bus.
Yeah. No, we may be driving them to like the game. So. And I guess Feidelberg, he's like, Hank, are you going to be here next week? And he's just like, uh-oh. Like, I think is that his response? Uh-oh? Oh, man.
This is going to be great. This is going to be a huge test for Hank. I don't want you to direct him one way or the other. I just want you to just sit there and see what happens.
I know. I wouldn't have said anything if Feidelberg didn't bring it up to him because I was actually like, they're done as of Saturday. So I was just curious to see if they were going to mention what the next move was.
It'll come back, and it's like a dog or cat that runs away. It'll eventually just come right back home.
Leave the door open. Hank will find his way home. I don't know what's better if it's Thelma and Louise and they're just on the run, or if like he just strolls in the door like, hey, like let's do the rundown, like completely like normal. I don't know what's better.
Well, he's a changed man. I mean, he killed a deer.
Yeah, and he stabbed those fucking frogs with
this. Renee wanted me to fire him when she saw the deer thing. I didn't watch it.
Some of those snaps when they went hunting were pretty gory.
It just shows though I like Hank because if you put enough peer pressure on him, he'll literally do anything. I could get him to kill a man.
Absolutely. You got him to go to jail.
I could no, but I'm not joking. I know I could get him to commit murder on my behalf, and that's a good guy to have. All right.
That's a great guy to have.
That's a great guy to have.
Every group needs a murder guy, and Hank's our murder guy.
He'd say no for like 7 or 8 times, but guarantee you before you ask him 10 times, he'd be down. All right. That's the rundown.
And you know all it would take would be like Big Cat being like, come on, Hank, do it. You'd be like, okay, all right. Dan said all right.